I saw this today, yesterday. I saw this recently, very recently. And, the first thing that came to mind was Signal, the instant messenger. And the reason is that why did this bring, or what is it, is that Delhi High Court in India has forced or is forcing Telegram, the instant messenger, to disclose names, phone numbers, IP addresses, and I believe admin. So of big Telegram groups, also like admin information, accused of sharing infringing material, so copyright stuff. This is huge and potentially a good driver for adoption of the competitor Signal. We're going to talk a little bit about this. We're going to talk about why it's so bad. We're going to talk about why Signal is so good on today's Not So Critical update. But first,
yeah. But first,
you guys.
I mean, I just reminded you we've got to do the like, subscribe stuff at the beginning, right?
It escaped. It ran. So just
I didn't think you meant like immediately when we come back.
No.
Like just work it in towards the beginning.
First things first.
Please subscribe to our channel. It makes
like we could deliver some value first.
Yeah.
I already did.
Okay, that was it. Now moving on to the self-promotion.
I opened my mouth.
All right.
So just a little bit more context on the article, and then we can get back to John's main point about Signal. So basically what happened is a group of students were sharing course materials that belonged to one of the professors at this campus private limited. And the teacher was Neetu Singh. And they took it to court, and the judge decided that Telegram had to turn over this information, name, telephone number, email address, IP address of the students who had shared this material to the who's the person that's the accuser in a trial, the I don't know, whatever, whoever brought the suit. And then specifically also said it's not to be shared with any third parties. It's just for this specific purpose. But the court getting involved in forcing a company to turn over information, and the company having the ability to do that, which I think is where you're about to take us, John.
Yeah.
This is okay. So
if he doesn't, then I will.
Yeah. Before we skip on over to greener pastures, let's talk about how the president has now been set. And this is huge for privacy in a bad way. At least in India. So what this judge has now done is said, hey, if you find out that there are Indian citizens or Indian residents on Telegram sharing whatever content you deem as infringing on your copyright or whatever, you can bring them to court, and that we will fucking uphold that because they will reference this court case. Yep. And say, but look, and this is just how the law works, is the judges or whatever will just copy one another. Anyway.
I feel like we've done stories on India doing stuff like this before. Am I misremembering?
Yeah, remember the VPN stuff. Like
the VPN stuff. That's what I was thinking of.
But I'm not positive. I don't know their judicial system, but I have to assume that it's very similar to the rest of the world, where yes, you do reference old cases and you can use them as material to basically win new cases. But moving on. So that's bad. The good news is
there's an alternative.
The great news is that there's an alternative. And the coolest thing about this alternative is it works just as well as its competitors, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. It's called Signal.
Signal.org.
Use it.
Yes. It's really good because they don't have the data to give away. And I think that's the key fundamental difference. Telegram store this information and Signal don't. So they cannot be forced to. Yeah, they cannot be forced to reveal it because they don't have it to reveal, which is really the best way to operate in these kind of things.
It's not super easy to use.
What Signal?
Like, so Peter and I had a ton of trouble recording the show last week because I did something to my audio system and whatever. We tried Zoom, we tried Skype, we tried Discord, we tried Signal. And I hadn't used it before, so I had to download it, had to figure out how to get connected to Peter. Like, the invitation system wasn't totally clear to me. So, like, yeah, can people figure it out? Sure, but it's not like a Facebook Messenger where you're just going to log in and have your contacts there you can start communicating with.
I feel like that's a bit ignorant because...
Yeah.
Okay, no, but that's where most people are.
But no. Most people literally just download an app like WhatsApp. 2 billion users were able to download WhatsApp, install, share contacts, and start messaging away. And that's exactly how Signal works. You download Signal.
Something about the interface to me does feel a little bit sort of ICQ, like, you know, a little bit clunky. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's so intuitive.
But your example wasn't Signal. Your example was WhatsApp. So that doesn't even prove the point.
But then I moved it on to Signal. You didn't hear my last part, which was, and Signal is the same way. You download it, you share your contacts, and you start messaging away.
Yeah. They've done a couple of things. Signal's done a couple of things lately, which I didn't like. So the one thing was we're
trying to push Signal. Okay?
I know, but I don't want to.
Oh, is Signal our sponsor today? I didn't realize we were.
Yeah, obviously.
They were valid decisions to make as an entity, but the first thing was removing the option to use it as an SMS application. So a lot of people, and I didn't know this, but a lot of people used the Signal application on their phones to send SMSs. And Signal have removed the ability to do this because SMS is an inherently insecure protocol. So they didn't want people using Signal to have a full sense of security. I'm using Signal, so therefore I must be protected. I have heard so many people since then complain about it because it now what it's done is for people who are forced to use SMS, they now have to use 2 different apps for all their messaging. And it's really inconvenient for them. The second thing was that they added this thing called Stories, which is like a thing that you can, I don't know, like all the other fucking stories, Instagram and Twitter and all that shit. Yeah, I didn't really look at it that much, but they added it, and it was an opt-out feature. You couldn't, it was default opt-in, and you had to go in and manually disable it, and I didn't really like that. Yeah. So, I mean, they're not faultless, but the main thing is they still don't have the data to give away. That's all that counts, really.
I do like that they have a PC app. I just messaged Peter, but he's too much of a professional to check his phone while we're on the air, apparently. So good for you, Peter.
But Telegram does too. WhatsApp does too. This is, now kind of become common that you can link your phone to a desktop equivalent. However, it's so convenient. I despise having to look at my phone to send SMS. And being able to WhatsApp and Telegram and Signal on my PC is so much better.
On Android, you can do web SMS.
I do. So I have on my Windows machine, I have, what's it called? Phone for Windows or Windows Phone Link. I don't remember.
Oh, God. Have you ever tried to remove that shit from a Windows machine? It's
nigh impossible. No.
Yeah.
I stopped using it because it kept desyncing from my phone. It just was not a smooth running service, and it wasn't good enough. And to be honest, I felt like I was kind of giving in. We shouldn't be using SMS anymore.
It's also not at all secure.
Right. Like, sure, the link between the phone and the computer are fine, but as soon as a text message leaves my phone, like, no thanks. I don't want that. You know what? I wonder if someone's running, Peter, you might know this off the top of your head. I imagine that's the case. If someone's running a rogue cell tower, if they can intercept and see text messages in clear text.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because you can't test that.
Yeah, SMS has no encryption at all in any way. There's no like secure SMS at all.
You can test it. You can't test it without breaking the law, because you're not. I don't believe you're authorized. One, you're not allowed to run that band as a consumer. Like you're not allowed to receive. Like you're basically not allowed to become a cell tower. And two, you're now sniffing any one person around you who might be sending a text message and connecting to your phone line or to your phone.
I never really looked into that, to be honest. Yeah. Going back to India, though, if I can just loop back, I feel like this is sort of, we're going to see lots of these kind of stories coming out of India, because it seems like they've decided as a country to like bring back some of that corporate cash back into the country. They've had so many people working as offshore, call centers and tech workers and stuff. They're like, okay, we want some of that money back. We want to be a tech capital of the world. So we're going to make it really super friendly to any corporation that wants to come here and tell us what to do. If the corporations have a problem with some illegal content, we'll help them out. And, the VPNs, this decision about, you're right. It set a precedent, but I think more worryingly than that, it set a sort of, it shows very clearly what these kind of rulings are going to go like in the future, even if it's not related specifically to Telegram or whatever. So yeah.
And as we know, piracy and poverty are strongly correlated. When a country has high poverty rates, the piracy rates is just going to be high because people
want their Marvel movies, man,
for mediums, or for media. It's a big problem. So good luck solving that one, and we'll just have to keep our ears to the ground.
What do you recommend? Do you give a shit?
Me?
Yeah.
About the copyright stuff? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I use Discord to communicate with my family. I use SMS to communicate with a lot of people. I'm not going to say I do it because I don't have anything to hide. If I was worried about privacy, I probably would use something like Signal. But let's actually wrap up with our recommended tech stack. So we've recommended Signal several times. We've recommended Brave browser several times. Bitwarden has come up. I actually started using Bitwarden. I used to be a RoboForm user. My renewal's coming up. I'm using Bitwarden right now to just evaluate if I want to move my family over to that. What else have we talked about?
Love Bitwarden. I'm a big recommender of Molvad. If you're in
Molvad VPN,
end user VPN, Molvad's great. They're based out of Sweden. They also take the approach of, we can't provide you with anything because we don't have it. In terms of data requests.
Any other favorites, Peter?
I've got a couple, but I can't really mention them because they're direct competitors to my employer. So
we'll just start with that then. All right, Peter.
I was going to say, if anybody's watching, just joking.
So I mentioned I use Discord. I definitely recommend Discord. We actually have a link in the description to our Discord server, and you should come check that out. Like and subscribe to the video, and we'll see everyone tomorrow.